We're still with our sports analyst who has been at this for years now. And hasn't
for decades.
For decades, and hasn't actually seen any difference with the issues we're tackling today and what it was in his time. Now, you just before we went to break, you were trying to tell us this $1.7 million. What is it likely to be used for?
Today, our dollar is 485. I'm assuming it's close to 800 million. Go from Ghana, Togo, Republic of Benin, and check the entire sports budget. So there's a disconnect somewhere. And the solution is actually very simple. You don't throw money at problems. And you don't wait until people will contrive, orchestrate, and build a crescendo like we've done now. Then you give them $1.7 million.
To keep them quiet.
Yes, to keep them quiet. Yes, but the damage has already been done because these images are all over the world.
The thing is, see, look, is it possible that at any point in time in any area the damage to Nigeria will not be there? This is not, we're talking about this like a national systemic malaise.
It may not be there in terms of sport, because really if you travel all over the world, people really don't bother about certain parts of Africa. In fact, they think, where are you from, Africa? They think the 50 countries in Africa is one country, so they don't bother. But at times, sports is what takes you all over the world. I just gave the example of JJ Okocha, young Nigerian from somewhere, draped, huge, it's like this studio, at Charles de Gaulle. That is the premium airport in Europe and France. JJ Okocha, football. So if they can just remove sports out of our politics and politics, knowing the branding power, knowing the PR power, knowing the mega business that is sports.
Okay, but is that possible?
It is possible.
How is
very
it
simple.
that a minister will not be appointed by government?
Even if you have a minister that's appointed by government, what is he following? It's like having a general without a map of where he's going to war. There is no policy framework for sports. So a simple thing like you're going to World Championship, you're a judoka. If you win a gold for Nigeria, we give you 1,000 naira.
What if we don't give
the rest is that the president will shake your hand.
Yes.
Most people will die for this country. I'll give you another example. Akabusi, that later won gold for Britain, actually wrote Nigeria to represent Nigeria during the Olympics. Nobody replied his letter. And he later won gold for Britain. There are many people that want to die for this country. Indeed, Sam Okoroji died for this country. He wasn't collecting anything. So that patriotism is there. And we don't need the mercenary, patriotic Nigerian. So if you tell them this is the money we have, but we'll welcome you, we'll honor you. Some people can't.
But you see, can I just say
they
something?
Are begging and asking.
You've been there for decades, so you know, for example, that the motivating force for people to represent Nigeria has not always been money.
It's not money.
But what they're just saying is, let the, basic things be in place. Accommodation.
Don't make those promises.
Yes, just
if you don't have the money, especially now. They should look at that budget and cut the thing to the bone. Companies are cutting costs. Everybody is cutting costs. Cut it to the bone. Then we don't need the mercenary Nigerians. This is arguably 280 million Nigerians. There are people in the diaspora begging.
180.
I'm sorry. I've extrapolated too much.
Figures don't matter.
So there are people begging to come. But what I'm begging them is, the solution, again, like I keep saying, is very simple. Policy framework. So that any minister that come in, you know that this is what you are facing. Because at times they're short-circuited because they are new in the sports environment. A federation can short-circuit you, just like perhaps the Nigerian Football Federation has short-circuited the minister because he didn't know where some of the skeletons are. But it's immaterial. Anybody can be a manager. But what you do is, this is Nigeria, this is our policy, this is what we follow. And in times where there's no budget or declining budget, this is what we're going to pay you. So you tell the athletes up front and personal. It's nothing. It is so simple.
You dodged Patrick's question when we came back from break about. So what do you think this 1.8 million is going to cover?
The thing is that there are those who are experts and adept at the labyrinthine nature of government finances is a maze. So this 1.7 or 1.8 million dollars now, a lot of things are embedded in it that you can never decipher. And then when you check, like I said, when you look at the historical antecedents, you find that nobody, and I quote me, I haven't seen it, nobody has accounted for anything in the last 20 years. Let them publish it. It's public knowledge. It's already gone all over the world. This $1.7 million, I challenge them to publish it so that from now we begin to take responsibility and stop throwing money at people. When I was living in Athletics Federation, I left 24 million in the coffers and asked them to buy the Surulere bungalow that is our office. Today, nobody bought that bungalow. What happened to the 24 million naira I left there? Only God knows.
24 million
I left
at that time
in 2004.
In that time.
So these are
yeah, well, you see, the thing is
so
that,
easy.
like abroad, you know, we always say abroad because we're part of the International Committee of Nations. It's not only government that funds sports.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yes.
You know,
again, some of us helped. I think I wrote the lead document on the Team Nigeria concept. We have a Team Nigeria concept that people have deliberately killed. Why is that? Some of us suggested that the Team Nigeria must have in its board private, high net worth, credible Nigerians. Simple. You get all the money you need. When I was in athletics, I got all the money I needed. Why? We account for every single kobo. I remember MTN asking me, oh, Dan, you people even made a photocopy of, I think we photocopied documents for 500 naira. It's there. It's a big book. So MTN knew that every kobo was accounted for. Very simple. Once you're credible and you put it up front there, Nigerians will support you. Even high net worth Nigerians will support you. Most CEOs benefited from the school sports system that were institutionalized by the British, by the colonial master. They're there to help. But they don't throw money at a confused environment, at an environment where you cannot account. Even on CSR, your corporate social responsibility, you still don't throw money away. You need to have a plan, and then you need somebody to be accountable for it. So back to Team Nigeria. We have the Team Nigeria concept. And I remember MTN MD then asking me, Dan, we need to put money. I said, please go ahead and put in money in Team Nigeria because it's going to be headed by a credible Nigerian. I think I suggested a Dangote then, or a few names that the government should choose. MTN put in that money. Immediately, the then minister became the chairman of the Team Nigeria vehicle. Today, there is no published account for Team Nigeria, and it is dead. It need not be dead. They can revive it.
Yes.
And everybody has gone. If they revive the Team Nigeria concept, the documents, I still have all of it. They have it there. Maybe somebody is hiding it somewhere.
But you are in a position to...
No, it's there.
Yeah, but you can revive it.
Easy. Anybody, any Nigerian, Patrick, you can revive it.
No, you're a patriotic Nigerian now, and you know everything to do with this.